going to have to wait and see exactly how it does flesh out. Here is Hurricane. He's 3-8 so far. Definitely not the best win ratio we've ever seen, but so far in 2015, he did get a win. So
he did get a win. He beat someone, a mystery opponent for us for now, Valdez. And yeah, I mean, there's not too much else to say about him. We don't get to see him that much. I looked at this match, and I mean, really, in reality, both players we have not seen much of this season, as well as overall in individual leagues or much online. Trap, 1-0 so far. Big fan of Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah, so someone tweeted at me, and apparently Hurricane won against Tang Tang.
Oh, that's why I didn't mention it. That's why I remember.
Okay, it makes sense.
I saw it, I'm like, oh, he beat
right.
Tang Tang. Well, I'm not mentioning that because that was something else.
Yeah, well, here's Trap in the booth, looking pretty confident.
Looking pretty confident, looking good, looking ready to go in this nice PvP we have in store for you guys. And I mean, we're going to have to see Samsung start putting something on the scoreboard, Valdez.
Yeah, well, let's jump right into it. Game number 2 between Hurricane and Trap. Down here in the bottom right in the red, the Samsung Galaxy Con player, it is Hurricane.
Up here in the top right, we do have Trap.
It's a trap. I'm sorry.
It's a trap. All right, so we do have Hurricane taking down Tang Tang. And
yeah,
alive.
Definitely not the most impressive wins.
Alive for Trap.
For both the players, in fact, to be perfectly honest.
To be brutally honest, I completely agree with you, Valdez.
Yeah. So I'm really curious to see more of Trap, actually, because, I mean, he did get a win over Life. It's not the most impressive thing in the world. I mean, Life is a decent player, and he used to be very good, but we don't see him all that much these days. And I'd like to see Trap come out more and more against more top-level opponents, because he always used to be quite good.
Well, there must be a reason, right, why we haven't seen him play too much this season. Something is going on there.
Well, Janair's just got such a strong lineup.
They do.
It is hard to use Trap over someone like SOS or something.
Well, it's funny we don't see Maru today as well.
That's actually
it's kind of a bit weird. Maybe he's stepping in for Maru. Could be a thing. Maybe Maru's a little too tired after this
makes
shenanigans
sense.
in Taipei. Taking a pretty big loss yesterday, no doubt.
Yeah. Didn't want to show his face after going down Game 7.
100 minerals,
I don't
man.
think so. It's probably just very tired, like you mentioned.
Yeah, and it is vertical spawns, by the way, so not as big of a game as it could be possibly in a cross spawn sort of situation. A lot more pressure, a lot more opportunity for attacks to happen. So it should be a bit of an interesting one, and I wonder if we're going to see Stargate play from either player, because also Stargate in these positions is the best chance they have.
Yeah, and in fact, I like the Observer actually highlighted that pylon, because that sometimes lets you know that it could be a Stargate. I like to call it a Stargate pylon. We used to see that a lot on Habitation Station. You know, Zest used to do this all the time.
Yeah,
put a pylon down there on the edge of his base because the air rush distance was so short. Of course, it could just be in the corner of his base to hide any tech that he might want to put down.
And it can also kind of be used to scout out any sort of Stargate units coming his way as well. But, yeah, second gate, okay. So he's going to be a bit more defensive in his play. Getting that early gate out to get an extra Stalker out nice and early. Take control of the map. Make sure no pylons are around, no aggression happens. Also means he can defend a little bit easier against any sort of, I guess, Oracle that might come on the map as well. He'll have sufficient Stalkers. Both players really scouting out each other. And not going to see Hurricane scout out that third pylon, which is going to be at the bottom of his base.
Yeah, we do have a bit of a mix-up in between the builds of these two players. Trap going for a much faster Mothership Core, whereas it seems like the Warp Gate research came out a bit faster for Hurricane, and he was putting down some Chrono Boost on that as well.
Other kind of tricky part about these positions is the fact that the mothership cores will probably scout each other, as we are seeing, both kind of going across the map at this time, looking for something.
May want to bump noses here. Hurricane, he has gone for the double stalker build quick out of those 2 gates, so he's going to want to put on the pressure, possibly go and fight with Trap with those extra stalkers that he gets faster. The trade-off here is that his Twilight Council is a bit slower, and so the blink is going to come out much faster here for Trap.
Yeah. It looks like pretty weird sort of mothership core movements from Hurricane at this point. Kind of just flying around, looking for what he can, if he can find any sort of unit flying his way.
Ooh.
Not finding much.
Is that a Dark Shrine coming up? Yeah, that it is.
That it is, Valdez.
Okay, so this could actually go really badly for Trap if he doesn't get some detection up here pretty quickly.
Well, he just started a Robo, so just in time, actually. Yeah, he's going to have an observer. Hopefully it's in position, but yeah, he's definitely going to have an observer for this.
Yeah, it should be on time here. We do see the Warp Gate Research finishing much faster here for Hurricane, putting a lot of chrono boost on that. So he's got 5 Stalkers already. He's going to look to trade with the ones of Trap. He's going to have to go back to the base, Trap will.
Yeah, he will, and he's currently down 2, but his Warp Gate is just finished. So he will have sufficient amount in just a second.
Yeah, he's just going to have to put down this Nexus Cannon probably. Or maybe just actually fight with the Blink that's about to come up here.
Yeah, I mean, if he can get a good trade and can follow it up with Blink, then he can just claim a lot of Stalkers. And Observer starts.
Yeah, right away, and it's going straight to the front of his base, so he should be just fine here. But Hurricane on the back of this pressure, he's going to put down that Nexus. And Trap just making a bunch of Stalkers. He's got a pretty decently high number here, actually, in 8. And they're all coming out of the base, actually.
That's the scary thing, Valdez. He could be completely out of position for this.
Well, he hasn't gone all the way down the ramp, so.
He should be able to see the blur.
If he is paying attention.
If he's paying attention, then he's not.
Observer is going to see it. Okay, he does see it. Nice Blink here. Should be able to deny this before it gets any damage done.
Nice. Now, is he going to follow up or is he going to expand? He does have enough very soon for an expand, so maybe he will. He's still warping in Stalkers, though. Maybe he's going to be very aggressive from this. He knows he went for DT, so clearly we do see Hurricane a little bit behind.
Well, he has found the Dark Shrine, so he's going to take that out first. And back at the base of Hurricane, he is going to have that Nexus up. He's got a lot of energy on his Mothership core as well as an Immortal already. So he should be quite fine on defense. I think we'll just see a Nexus come down for Trap. But even though Hurricane did lose, a bunch of gas put into the Dark Shrine tech, into the DT tech, I mean, he's still getting this Nexus so much faster than Trap.
Yeah, he is.
He's also getting the higher Immortal count much faster as well.
The moment that Nexus finished, the one for Trap began. So that's how far behind he is in bases.
Yeah, Trap's not going to be happy to see this.
He's trying his best to trade. Gonna get a Stalker. And not taking too much damage on his army. Still, I mean, we have at least a 9 probe mining natural to a Nexus that's only half done at this point, so we are seeing Hurricane get pretty far ahead from this.
Yeah, this DT is going to do absolutely nothing. Gets force fielded out of the base. Nope. Just barely keeps everything alive there. Now Hurricane is backing off. He's got 2 Immortals now. Should be quite fine here. I mean, Trap does have that Observer, possibly to do some Blink shenanigans, but for now he's just going to break down those rocks and try to focus down some units with the Blink. Nexus Cannon has gone down, has expired.
Oh, he's going to go for the Observer, I think. No, not taking it. Losing a couple of Stalkers there. Just trading.
Yeah. Loses 3, as our Observer shows us. He's going to start making some Immortals now, try to catch up, and now he's going to make a Robotics Bay behind this as well.
Okay, so going into Colossi before, trying to get the composition edge on Hurricane after falling pretty far behind in economy for at least the start. Maintains a supply lead, though, despite. He has been finding picks here and there, just giving him kind of a bit of an edge. He actually could pretty safely blink into the main at some point. Maybe go for some probe kills with 4 of his Stalkers. Getting pushed back on the map for starts now.
Yeah, Hurricane is finishing up his counterblink here. It's a bit later. And now he puts down that Robotics Bay. Going to try to catch up in that tech. He's got 3 Immortals in the mix. He's going to stop at that. Looks like Trap is going to go for 2, and then possibly switch into Colossi afterwards. The one other thing to mention is that Trap did get his forwards a bit faster, so his +1 is going to be significantly ahead.
It's going to help out. Every little bit helps at this time of the game. And we are seeing a couple more probes get sniped. Uh-oh. But a sort of a Blink Stalker sandwich from behind. Not going to do anything there.
Yeah, I think it gets 1 Stalker. Nice Blink Micro there.
Yeah, and it's really all positioning at this point. Both players on pretty equal terms, though we do see a nice supply lead for Trap. And it's going to come down to when they take their third base from here and who's going to be the aggressor, who's going to be forced to be the aggressor. I think when someone goes for a bit more of a greedier play, that usually triggers sort of the other player to come across the map and go for an attack. But then it comes down to positioning, and if there's enough Colossi, it comes down to the Colossus arc, and all the fun stuff happens.
Yeah. PvP, kind of a matchup of positioning as well as composition. Definitely want to have the right composition of Zealot, Stalkers, and Immortals. Even Immortals definitely going to help out, especially if they're in good position. Sometimes we see Warp Prism being added just for some good micro on those guys, or possibly microing with the Colossi in and out of them. But so far, no Warp Prisms, and we're going to see the first Hallucination Scouts actually coming out here. And they're going to both see that the Nexuses are actually coming up at basically the same time. Charge now, a bit faster for Trap. We do see a Chrono Boost on it for Hurricane. So he's going to try to catch up there. Seems like Hurricane's going to move out on the map, possibly try to take an engagement here.
Yeah, looks like he might be the one that wants to be the aggressor, but at the same time, we are seeing Trap move down with his army, and they're going to be meeting at the Zelnaga Tower. Who's going to commit to it? It doesn't look like... I don't think Hurricane wants to. He's behind in the Colossi count. 2-1. Now 2-2, but does not have that tower. Does not know for sure what's up there, and we are seeing the supply lead kind of widen just a little bit for Trap at this point.
Yeah, we could have seen Trap maybe engage there. He did have the Thermal Lance, maybe just do some micro with his Colossi, but for now, just seems like Hurricane wants to back off and play defensive. I think he was just pushing out on the map, seeing exactly what Trap had and how willing he was to possibly go into an engage, and then just backed off to defense his third base. Do see a Stargate coming out of Trap now.
Ooh, I wonder if we're going to see him go into Tempests from here. That would definitely be the next step. You know, seeing the Templar Archives as well.
Yeah, I mean, getting that third base is very important for doing big tech switches like this. You're going to have, of course, a lot of added gas on those 5th and 6th gases at the third base. Do see the Scout, though, so Hurricane knows exactly that he could be possibly going to that, and he actually drops down his own Stargate here.
Really makes for a pretty interesting sort of situation when it is vertical spawns like this. Both players are pretty close to each other when it comes to attacking. So you got to be careful how much damage they take, what they commit to. And we are seeing those Blink Stalkers really commit to across the map, and at the same time...
I really like this engagement, actually, from Hurricane. He's going to force out that recall.
Yeah.
He knew that a lot of Trap's army was more into the Stalker, so he could fight there. But Trap knew it as well, so he was just going to go for the recall.
Gains that foothold at the tower for at least the moment. Seeing a Warp Prism added to this army as well. And
finally, the fleet beacons are being added. So we're going to see Tempest out of both players.
Oh, yeah.
2 Stargates out of both players as well. And like we were talking about this before, this is definitely a game that can go very, very late.
Yeah, very stalemate-y kind of game. Obviously, either player that attacks into the other will be at a disadvantage in terms of positioning. I mean, makes things a little bit harder in a mirror match. And a weird pylon there. I wonder why. Why there? And he kills it instantly, so...
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Bit of a mistake. I think it might have wanted to be a Nexus at some point. Instead, decides to make a pylon by accident. A little distracted. Too busy trying to get to Tempest ASAP, making him from 2 Stargates. His Trap. And Hurricane.
Yeah, Trap, or rather Hurricane, is going to add a 3rd Stargate here, so he's going to be the one that kind of commits more heavily to a Stargate switch and making a ton of Tempest here. A nice drop coming in at the third base from Hurricane. Already getting four probes. He's going to warp in the main at the same time.
Yeah, very nicely.
Oh, man. Trap's not responding to this quite well.
He is not. He's actually responding a little bit slow. It's a bit of a worry. He's still got to deal with the ones in the main base, which are doing a lot of probe damage. 17 probes have gone down.
That's almost too much. Look at the probe counts right now. 70 to 49.
That is insane.
What? And look at this Tempest. He's all alone out of the map.
Ooh. Still keeps it alive. I think we might actually see an attack from Trap after this. Trap has a pretty sufficient supply lead, considering he is so far behind in workers. No doubt he's very much ahead in army supply.
Look at that army supply. How did that happen?
I think he's just been warping in non-stop. He faked his fourth base, and now he's like, you know what? I got to go. I took too much damage from that, and he's going to get further ahead from this. He does have his fourth base up and running at this point. He has enough Tempest to really do a lot of damage to Colossi.
Hurricane went into third Stargate as well as that fourth Nexus you keep mentioning. He's going to pull those probes.
He's got to get his Tempest up if he wants to fight with him, though. He's kind of in an awkward position. And what's he going to do? He can't turn around at this point. He has to make it happen.
Ooh. Getting the Observer there, quite nice.
Ooh.
Hurricane getting the first shot onto the Tempest. And he's got more Stargates.
Oh, so forcing out that shot, actually. Really nicely done. And here we go. He's on top of the third base, but not the best position.
Yeah, he's definitely got to back off here. Hurricane may look to force it, but he doesn't really have to at this point. He's got that fourth base, and he has a ton more Tempest. 6 to 3 right now. Whereas Trap is going to have 6 Colossi to 4, but once Hurricane wins the Tempest War, the Tempests are going to do so much damage to the Colossi.
They're going to be one-shotting the Colossi easily at this point.
Look at this, another drop in the main by Hurricane.
Oh,
this may force Trap to go for an attack now.
Yeah, really forcing his hand. He's going to have to try and get rid of at least one. Oh, losing a Colossi. Takes down the Nexus, but doesn't really matter if he's losing his army.
Stalker's in a very nice position here, actually, to get to work on those Tempests.
But not the best position for everything else. The Colossi were way far back. And now we are seeing that big engagement once again. We are seeing red fall back.
There's Tempests, though. They're out there in the middle there. All those Stalkers getting to work very, very nicely, but all the Colossi have trapped do go down. And right now, Hurricane with a big supply lead. He keeps alive 4 of his Colossi as well as 3 of his Immortals. So he's done so much damage to the main at the same time. And now he's going on the counterattack here. Trap not looking in a great position now.
Yeah, it looks like Hurricane will be able to close this one out from here. Just completely losing all his Colossi and his Tempests. Really good positioning from Hurricane this whole time. Just staying back as far as he can with everything while these Tempests just cleaned up over an awkward position to fight in.
Hurricane, though, he's actually going to give Trap some time to breathe. We do see Trap also has that +3. Somehow, it seems like Trap did not... did I see Trap the first time? Hurricane has the +3, whereas Trap a little bit behind on that.
Yeah, he stopped on +2. So, decided not to go with it. Obviously banking on a big attack, but attacking just a little too late.
Yeah, now Trap a little bit desperate here, trying to go for a attack that's definitely not going to work.
No. No extra Tempest being added either. So he's pretty certain that at this point Trap is going to be remaining on Immortal sort of Archon now that his Colossi count, his Tempest count got completely reset. Very smartly done from Hurricane. Just getting that Colossi count and Archon count out.
I just can't believe that Hurricane didn't go for the counterattack. He had the big advantage. I guess he doesn't quite see the same numbers that we do. And just feeling like he's going to have to go for a 4th base once again, whereas Trap is going to get his 4th base at the same time.
Well, when you're in like such an advantage in a mirror match, like you don't have to really press it. Because if you know you're on the equal economy, but you took much better fights, your army's going to be bigger no matter what for at least the next 5 or maybe like 4 or 5 minutes. Like you can kind of slow play it just a little bit. Get your 4th base back up, maintain your army advantage, just keep building onto it. Maybe when you're near max, you can make your move out then.
Yeah, I'm just a bit worried about giving Trap any room to breathe. I like these drops, though. We do see the 4th base of Trap actually gets canceled. So he may just want to power up here on 3 bases and try to win a fight.
Yeah, this is the second time he's done that. We've just decided to cancel it and just go for an attack. And I can't blame him. He's in an awkward position where he has to make something happen, but I don't know if it's going to be enough at this point.
Well, he's going to try for it. Seems like this Warp Prism is going to be pushed away. Right here, we do see Hurricane has not remade any of his Colossi, so we have 5 and now going up to 6 Colossi Hurricane, whereas Trap is just going to rely on a bunch of Archons for now, even though Hurricane's got more of that as well, 9 to 6.
Yeah, he's pretty much ahead in every single way, including upgrades, composition, and just pure numbers.
Yeah, and here's that follow-up you were talking about. He's just kind of maxing out and maybe going for a big attack here.
Yeah, playing it very careful and methodical. No reason to push it when you know you're this far ahead. And here's the trump card. We're seeing DTs being added to this composition of Trap. He's looking for that victory that we saw Creator have against Zest.
Exactly.
Yeah. He's going to be looking for those observers. And here we go.
That's the plan. The DTs come out first, and they immediately get shot down here. A ton more Zealots in the front here for Hurricane as well as Colossi. And this is a pretty overwhelming defeat in the fight. Trap's going to have to GG out of this one. Yeah,
well, the DTs are still alive, and they're getting amongst it.
Oh, man.
So one thing to note, but nothing's really dropping. Everything's just such high HP. He's going to actually warp out. He kind of destroyed the army, or what he can of the army. He's just going to get out of here.
Okay, so actually, like, bad call for me. I didn't even notice those DTs were still alive, so.
Yeah. Well,
now, actually, a big follow-up here, taking down some of those Colossi with the Blink Stalkers, doing a decent job.
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Still, he's even further behind in the supply at this point. Now, there will be an observer out.
Yeah, and he's even adding cannons back at home as well, so no chance of a counterattack either. 8 DTs in the mix.
Oh, my God. And DTs don't do very well against Archon Colossi, as you will see right now. And there they go. GG.
GG. So Hurricane able to actually get one win here for Samsung. Going to tie it up at 1-1. Very nicely played, actually, in that PvP match.
Yeah, it was a nice game. I definitely gave the advantage to Trap for at least the first half of that game. And then Hurricane kind of made his way back. He just kept going with his upgrades, got his 4th base earlier. Trap really went for that 3-base attack and not getting it done. Falling behind in Tempest more than anything else, and then taking a bad fight for it.
Yeah.
Jackets are pretty funny, man. They look like penguins or something.
Yeah, it is definitely funny. They are known to have one of the best styles in all of Pro League, in all of Kespa. And I guess only SK Telecom kind of rivals them. They've got some nice jackets as well.